At the heart of every great car lies a great engineer, often unseen, often uncelebrated. Walter Thomas Frederick Hassan was one of those men. From the roaring Bentleys of Brooklands to the smooth V12s of Jaguar, Hassan shaped the machines that shaped an era. Hassan began his career at Bentley Motors in 1920 as a 15-year-old apprentice, becoming the company's 14th employee. He quickly gained a reputation for mechanical skill, working first as an engine fitter, then in chassis assembly, and eventually in the experimental and testing department. His all-around expertise on the Bentley 3-litre cars led to him being recognized as Bentley's top mechanic, and he was assigned to support the immensely wealthy Wolf Barnato, Bentley's chairman and famed driver. By the mid-1930s, Hassan's reputation extended beyond Bentley. After Bentley was liquidated and acquired by Rolls-Royce in 1931, he left the company and continued working with Barnato on private racing projects. Hassan maintained Barnato's fleet of racing Bentleys and co-developed special high-performance cars. Notably, he built the Barnato Hassan Special, completed in 1934. A Bentley-based racer that became one of the fastest cars ever to lap the Brooklands circuit. In 1936, he joined English Racing Automobiles, ERA, as an engine development engineer, working alongside Peter Berthon and Raymond Mays to improve ERA's racing cars. A few months later, renowned engineer Reed Railton invited Hassan to Thompson & Taylor at Brooklands, where Hassan assisted in developing John Cobb's land speed record car. He also collaborated with driver Bill Pacey to create the Pacey-Hassan Special in 1936, which achieved considerable success in British club racing. In 1938, Hassan was hired by William Lyons at SS Cars, soon to become Jaguar. Here he began laying the foundations for a post-war motoring revolution. The war interrupted car production. Hassan turned his skills to the skies, working at the Bristol Aeroplane Company on vital aircraft engines, expanding his engineering expertise into new realms of performance and reliability. Returning to Jaguar after the war, Hassan joined forces with Bill Haynes to create the engine that would define Jaguar for a generation, the XK Inline 6. Hassan played a pivotal role in designing and refining the XK engine, which debuted in 1948 in the Jaguar XK 120 sports car. This engine was engineered with an alloy cylinder head, twin camshafts, and exceptional breathing for its time, reflecting Hassan's racing-informed expertise. The XK 6-cylinder proved both powerful and durable. It remained in production from 1948 until 1992. Powering a range of Jaguars from sports cars to sedans. Not only was it a mainstay of Jaguar's road cars, but it also excelled in motorsport. XK-powered Jaguar cars won the 24 Hours of Le Mans 5 times in the 1950s. 1951, 1953, 1955, 1956, 1957, dominating the world's premier sports car race. Hassan's engine, fitted in the Jaguar C-Type and D-Type racing machines, was credited for its reliability and high performance under endurance racing conditions. This string of Le Mans victories brought international prestige to Jaguar and can be directly linked to Hassan's engineering efforts on the XK engine. During this period, Hassan worked closely with Bill Haynes and colleagues like Claude Bailey and combustion expert Harry Westlake, a collaboration that produced one of the most celebrated engines in British automotive history. Hassan's Jaguar tenure in the late 1940s established him as a leading engine designer. Key achievements of this era include the successful launch of the XK 120, which in 1949 became the world's fastest production car, and the development of the Jaguar Mark 7 luxury saloons engine, a derivative of the XK. The Jaguar XK engine itself is regarded as one of the greatest engines of the 20th century. known for its balance of performance and refinement. Under Hassan's co-development, it powered Jaguar's road cars for over 4 decades and underpinned Jaguar's early racing dominance. By 1950, after seeing the XK engine through to production and initial success, Hassan sought new challenges. He left Jaguar in early 1950 to apply his engine-building expertise to a different arena, high-performance specialized engines, by joining the Coventry Climax company. There, at Coventry Climax, Hassan worked closely with Harry Mundy to push the boundaries of engine design. Their partnership yielded engines like the 1.5-litre Climax FWM VV8, which powered numerous Formula One cars in the early 1960s. They collaborated with racing icons as well. Colin Chapman relied on Climax engines for his Lotus race cars, and drivers like Jim Clark demonstrated the engine's capabilities by securing world titles. Hassan's work at Climax solidified his reputation as a top-engine designer who could blend reliability with performance, a reputation that caught the attention of his former employer, Jaguar, once again. By the early 1960s, Jaguar was planning to return to high-performance engines, and Hassan's expertise was in demand. In 1963, Coventry Climax was acquired by Jaguar, bringing Hassan and some of his team back into the Jaguar fold. Wally Hassan returned to Jaguar as the head of its engine development, joining forces again with Bill Haynes and Claude Bailey. His next task, to build Jaguar's first ever V12 engine. The first iteration was pure motorsport, a 5-litre quad-cam V12 with mechanical fuel injection designed to challenge Ferrari at Le Mans. It would find its home in a machine that was never meant for the road, the Jaguar XJ13.
A new sound comes to Myra, the research proving ground of Britain's motor industry. For the first time for 20 years, a completely new sound from Jaguar. For the first time ever from the factory that won 5 times at Le Mans, the unmistakable song of 12 cylinders in full cry. Jaguar's engine for a new generation of road cars worthy of the name they bear.
The XJ13 was Jaguar's secret weapon, a low, sleek, mid-engined racer fitted with Hassan's ferocious racing V12, producing over 500 brake horsepower. But the world changed. Le Mans regulations shifted, Jaguar's priorities moved elsewhere, and the XJ13 project was quietly shelved without ever seeing a race. In 1971, Jaguar decided to film the XJ13 as part of the launch for their new V12 road cars. Test driver Norman Dewis was asked to take the aging prototype for a demonstration run at the MIRA track. At nearly 140 miles per hour, disaster struck. A rear wheel fractured, the magnesium rim failing under the stress. The XJ13 lost control, somersaulted, and crashed heavily. Miraculously, Norman Dewis walked away with only minor injuries. Dewis later described the crash with typical understatement. "I heard a bang, felt the car dip, and I knew I was in trouble. There was nothing to do but hang on." The battered XJ13 was painstakingly restored years later, a living reminder of the racing V12's origins and of the engineering vision that Hassan helped shape. The engineering team's next major project was the creation of Jaguar's first production V12 engine. Throughout the mid to late 1960s, Hassan was deeply involved in designing and testing this new 12-cylinder power plant. The result was a 5.3-litre Jaguar V12 with a single overhead cam per bank. Later versions had DOHC and an advanced Heron combustion chamber design for smooth power delivery. Introduced in Jaguar's E-Type Series 3 and the Jaguar XJ12 sedan in the early 1970s, This engine set new standards for refinement. It was famously smooth, powerful, and quiet. Hassan's experience with high-revving engines and robust bottom-end design from his Climax days informed the V12's development, ensuring it was both potent and durable. Let's cross to part of an interview recorded in 1971, when Walter Hassan and Harry Mundy were interviewed by Raymond Baxter on the new V12 engine design.
Well, let's get back to the vital statistics, 90/70. This is a very large bore-stroke ratio, and in fact, the engine is extremely over-square. Why is this?
Well, it suits the design. The larger bore gives us room to get adequate size valves in side by side under a single camshaft. It gives us a short stroke, which gives us the high speed characteristic of the engine, which gives us higher potential power. It gives us the lower piston speed for the higher crankshaft speed, which gives you better wear factors.
Longer engine life, effectively.
Longer engine life, yes. And the thing also that fits in is that we have the bearings determine the length of the engine, and we have most usefully filled the space in the water jackets with large bores.
Now, in the ignition system, this is where you really do have something quite new.
Yes, the ignition system is the new transistorized Lucas Opus type of ignition. It is very similar in its theoretically to the system that we used in the race, has been used in the racing engines in Formula One for the last 5 or 6 years. The great point about it is that there is no mechanical make and break contact points, and therefore there's no servicing at all, and this gives us a very valuable asset, particularly in the emission field, where the timing remains absolutely consistent throughout the life.
How does the life of the ignition system compare with the total life of the engine?
Well, there's no reason at all why it shouldn't outlive the life of the engine, because it's merely a rotating magnet.
And no moving parts to wear out, effectively.
Purely a rotation.
The Jaguar V12, launched in 1971, was one of Hassan's crowning achievements. Under his guidance, Jaguar's engine team crafted an engine that produced around 272 brake horsepower in production trim and was capable of far more in competition settings. It powered Jaguar's flagship models for decades, from the E-Type and XJ12 to later luxury coupes. In motorsport, the V12 also proved its merit. A modified 7-litre version of Hassan's V12 design powered Jaguar's XJR9 sports car to an overall victory at Le Mans in 1988. And another evolved V12 powered the Jaguar XJR12 to win Le Mans again in 1990. These successes came well after Hassan's retirement, but they underscored the long-term excellence of the engine he helped create. Within Jaguar, Hassan's collaboration with Bill Haynes and Claude Bailey was key. Haynes provided overall technical direction, while Hassan focused on making the V12 robust and production-ready. Hassan also brought in Harry Mundy from Climax to contribute. Together, they ensured the new engine met Jaguar's high standards. By the time the V12 program reached fruition, Hassan had spent nearly a decade on its development. Walter Hassan retired in 1972, recognized with the Order of the British Empire for a lifetime of achievement. In summary, Walter Hassan's career progressed from an apprentice Bentley mechanic to a Jaguar chief engineer and beyond, leaving an indelible mark on each chapter. He was a driving force behind Jaguar's rise in the 1950s, the success of Coventry Climax in the 1960s, and Jaguar's engineering advancements into the 1970s. His engines combined innovation with reliability, contributing to race victories and acclaimed road cars alike. Hassan's straightforward and professional approach to engineering, focusing on practical results and teamwork, earned him a place among Britain's most esteemed automotive engineers. His legacy lives on in the engines he designed and the successes they achieved. reflecting a career dedicated to automotive excellence. Quiet, methodical, and modest, he left behind engines that spoke far louder than he ever did. This has been a production by Curious Jag. Please like and subscribe.